Okay, so hello all. My name is Shiva. I'm the technical solutions architect at HYCU, and today I'll be talking about our multi-cloud data protection solution that is totally geared towards Microsoft Azure. So, with that being said, I expect this session to be extremely interactive. If there are any questions, please post them on chat. I'll do my best to answer those questions. With that being said, just to give a quick high-level introduction of who we are. So we are headquartered in Boston. We have more than 25 years of experience in backup. Our company's true strength is our passion for our engineering team. We've been building data protection solutions for several blue chip companies, and finally, we've decided to come up with our own data protection solution, which is primarily focused on multi cloud data protection. And our number one goal is to provide the most simplified backup and recovery capability while still being enterprise ready and a highly scalable solution. And it's no surprise that we have a strategic partnership with vendors like Nutanix, and obviously we do have a strategic partnership with Azure as well. And one of the key takeaways about our entire organization is our customer service. We have an NPS score of 91 plus, which is actually the highest of any vendor when it comes to data protection solutions or any backup vendor compared to any of our competitors. So with that introduction in place, let's just get into why we are here. So one of the things that we have noticed consistently with our customers is we've seen several of our HYCU users involved with Azure Cloud in several facets, right? They basically make use of Azure Cloud to do simple backups by making use of Azure Blob Storage, or have some hand-holding process of moving their on-prem virtual machines or on-prem workloads to your Azure Cloud, or even leverage your Azure platform as a DR target. Or you have customers who are having their workloads running natively on Azure. So how do you go about supporting all of these different use cases with a unified backup solution or a unified backup and recovery solution? Because the one thing that we have noticing today is this adoption of Azure in these several facets of storing backups or doing migrations or leveraging Azure for DR. That adoption is raising by the day. And enter HYCU Protege. We are a true multi-cloud data protection solution that is purpose-built for every platform. We are purpose-built for all of your on-prem workloads, be it VMware or Windows or Linux platforms or Nutanix. And we also have the ability to seamlessly move them to your Azure cloud platform in form of data protection or seamless application consistent migration, or leverage your Azure cloud as a DR target. And while we're doing all of these operations, we also have the ability to achieve application consistency when it comes to moving your workloads from point A to point B. And obviously, as Ron mentioned, we do offer a pretty solid air-gapped backup protection or backup security so that you can actually recover your infrastructure from a ransomware attack. So with that being said, let's get into the details of why HYCU is so relevant for Azure. The number one reason is what we offer today, the HYCU Protege, is truly a next-gen solution that is optimized for Azure platform. Like, we have built our solution from ground up, and we are basically hosting our solution as a service within your Azure cloud platform that basically serves to your Azure local workloads and to your on-prem workloads. In addition to that, we are 100% cloud native. Our backups are efficient. We are agentless. We make use of Azure snapshots for application or crash consistent backups and granular recovery. And we ultimately increase operational efficiency because we inherit all of your Azure's multi-tenancy capabilities with seamless integration with Azure's Active Directory and resource groups. And obviously, cross-cloud mobility. That is one of the biggest value props of having HYCU for Azure, where we can seamlessly move your workloads from your on-prem to your Azure environment back and forth in an agentless fashion. Now, let's basically get into the details of why we are a next-gen backup solution. Number one, we are the first of our kind, where we basically host our solution as a service, a backup and recovery purely as a service within your Azure cloud environment, where you as an end user don't have to do anything with regards to deployment or maintenance or upgrades. In addition to that, we have 100% automated dynamic scalability capability. I mean, regardless of where you're running your Azure workloads, could be in a different region or in a different resource group spread across the globe, we will be able to discover all of those regions, all of those resource groups, and we can scale easily across your entire Azure subscription account, regardless of your resources being expanding or, you know, regardless of your resources, expanding over a period of time or shrinking over a period of time. We have the ability to automatically scale across your entire environment. And when we protect your workloads, we ensure the locality of your VMs running on your Azure cloud, and we basically make use of the most local backup storage available using Azure Blob. And those backups are localized by default. Obviously, you can have multi-regional backups, but our default settings are designed in such a way that you don't have any egress charges, and it's designed for cost savings. And last but not the least, this is something that I will be showcasing right now, is we have this awesome single pane of glass to manage all of your on-prem and your Azure workloads. So with that being said, I just wanted to show you a quick high-level overview of the architecture of what I just talked about. So we start with your Azure cloud environment, where we basically have HYCU running as a service, purely as a service within your Azure infrastructure, where you don't have to interfere with any of the deployment or maintenance or upgrades or configuration or even discovery, right? All you have to do is simply specify your Azure subscription account, and we will be able to basically discover all of your environment spread across all of your regions, and we can do seamless backups to your Azure Blob storage. So if you wanted to check us out, please go to the Azure Marketplace and search for HYCU, and you will be able to subscribe to our solution instantaneously, and your monthly billing will be basically a line item within your Azure monthly bill. So it's as simple as that. Now, in addition to that, if you have any on-prem infrastructure, we also have the ability to support your heterogeneous workloads running on your on-prem infrastructure to your Azure Blob. And these same backups can be failed over as VMs on your Azure cloud infrastructure. So not only backups, but also seamless migration or DR capabilities from a single solution. And that is what our value prop is. Now, let me just do a quick switch. And as you can see, this is our HYCU's HYCU Protege's UI. And when I basically log into our solution, I should be able to take a look into my entire platform. So this is basically the HYCU Manager of Managers, the HYCU Protege, which has the ability to manage several, like a hybrid cloud platform. As you can see, I'm able to manage my on-prem infrastructure, my workloads running on Azure and O365. All I have to do is basically get into the details, and here I will be able to drill down into those individual platforms that I'm managing. And within HYCU for Azure, basically we make use of HYCU's a Microsoft Active Directory, where all I have to do is basically use my cloud, Microsoft Cloud user ID, and I'll be able to log into my own HYCU for Azure environment, and I'll be able to discover all of my virtual machines and the Azure Blob storage where I'll be doing backups to. And that is pretty much the case with even my on-prem environment, where we basically have the ability to manage all of your VMware, all of your Nutanix, your physical servers from the same UI. And you actually have this awesome ability to do your backups to your Azure Blob storage in an auto-tiered fashion. And you also have the ability to spin up these VMs. Like, all you have to do is just simply select one of our VMs, and you can actually choose the option to spin that VM up to the cloud, which provides you the option to basically migrate that VM onto your Azure environment, to your to your desired subscription group, and to your desired region, to your desired resource group. So that's how easy it is, and you don't have to do any of additional installs, or you don't have to install any agents or plugins within your guest VMs, or you don't have to do anything. All you have to do is simply subscribe to our service, and all of this is available at a snap of a finger. All right, so that was a quick and short demo. Let me just get back to my slide. All right. So Ron, just another quick screen check. I just switched back to my slides. I hope you're able to see my architectural overview slide.
Yep, all good.
Cool, thank you. All right, so moving on, the next thing that I wanted to highlight was the cloud native capability of Azure, where we basically provide a high backup storage efficiency where we could do incremental forever dedupe at source backups of all of your Azure VMs to Azure Blob by using the auto tiering policy. So if you have auto tiering enabled, HYCU actually has the ability to move these backups seamlessly to the tier based on the retention setting. And in addition to that, we also have the ability to do granular recovery of your virtual machine. It could be the entire VM or those individual vDisks or individual files and folders. It could be from your snapshot on your Azure VM, or it could be from a backup stored on your Azure Blob. And our backups have absolutely no performance penalty. The reason is because we don't make use of any agents. And pretty much this has been the motto of our engineering team across all platforms. Like if you take a look at HYCU, we don't use agents anywhere, which is why our backups are considered to be one of the most high performance with zero performance penalty on your production environment. And obviously, we ransomware proof your backups. We have the ability to create a total air gapped backup methodology where you can totally secure your backups in a separate location, lock that up with dedicated user credentials that is totally isolated from your production environment. And these set of backups can actually reside within its own resource group that is totally different from your subscription, from your production environment. And when your production environment gets compromised, I mean, ransomware attacks are so prevalent these days, it's not a matter of if the organization is going to be attacked, it's simply a matter of when. So when such an attack happens, we do have this ability to recover instantaneously to the previous consistent version. And that is what this whole air-gapped secure backup capability is all about with HYCU. All right. So in addition to that, we provide operational efficiency where we can actually provide DevOps capability for end users, where if end users wanted to manage their own backups and restores, they actually have the ability to do that through HYCU inheriting all of the multi-tenancy capabilities through Azure's Active Directory and resource groups. And as you saw, our user interface is extremely simple and easy to use. And that is one of the key goals of our engineering team, where any user who's well versed with VMware or Azure can basically log into our solution and start using it from day one. And in addition to that, our policy-based automation truly follows the set and forget model, where once you have your policies defined appropriately, we can truly automate the backup assignment of your newly discovered VMs based on the rules defined by the policy, and you really don't have to log into our solution ever again unless you want to do a recovery. And obviously, we have a world-class customer support based on our NPS score. That should be pretty much evident, especially when it comes to cloud-based customers. We keep a constant eye of your entire infrastructure, and we basically work and troubleshoot on issues even before a customer gets to know them. And we will also alert the customers when it comes to performing upgrades or maintenance windows. And we basically ensure that all of the backups are secure before we do such an operation. And last but not the least, CrossCloud Mobility. We have seen some of our customers being very happy with our solution because we have accelerated their test dev environments due to our rapid cloning capabilities, where you can easily clone your VMs or applications between on-prem to cloud or within the cloud infrastructure across multiple regions. In addition to that, we also offer one-click simplicity for disaster recovery, where you can simply move your workloads from on-prem to Azure and move them back from Azure to on-prem when you're doing a failback, or do the same DR capability in a multi-regional fashion within the Azure cloud infrastructure. And as I mentioned before, if you really don't want to invest in Azure to start with, but you still want to test how the solution works, we have an answer for that. I mean, we've seen several customers do simple backups to Azure Cloud Platform, to start with Azure Blob Storage and understand how their tiering policies work. And we can help you with that as well. And in addition to that, once you get comfortable with Azure Cloud, we will always be there to handhold you with all kinds of migration in an agentless, application consistent manner. You literally have an express ticket to Azure. So to summarize, these are our differentiators, the top 6 differentiators. We are a true data protection as a service solution hosted on Azure, where you don't have to do any manual installation or maintenance or upgrades or configuration or discovery. Number 2, we have a true cloud scale architecture, regardless of what your environment looks like. I mean, for instance, in a retail industry or in a retail business, you can actually have huge amount of workloads during holiday seasons to match that customer influx, and during regular days, those workloads can be shrunk down to match the normal influx of customer workloads or customer requests. And in those cases, HYCU can automatically expand or shrink based on the resources that are available within your Azure infrastructure. And we are 100% native to your Azure Cloud Platform. I mean, you don't have to install any agents or plugins. We literally integrate with your your Azure VM snapshots, and we have the ability to integrate with your Azure's Active Directory and resource groups. And we provide you a 100% air gap backups that has the ability to secure yourself from ransomware attacks. And we also do more than just backups. We can offer you one-click cloning and DR capabilities to aid you in test dev use cases or even DR use cases where you can leverage cloud without investing in an expensive DR infrastructure. So this is the final summary, right? We provide our solution as a service where you don't have to do any install or upgrades. Our solution is readily available in Azure Marketplace. Please check it out. And we are integrated with Azure Billing. So our monthly billing will be a simple line item within your Azure monthly billing. In addition to that, we are purpose-built for Azure platform, where we integrate with your snapshots, integrate with your Active Directory and resource group. And we have the ability to do all of your seamless application consistent or crash consistent backups to your Azure object storage. And we offer all of your data protection needs, like your application consistent data migration or data protection or disaster recovery through one-click simplicity, easy to recover, instant subscription, super quick discovery, with inbuilt intelligence that requires absolutely no deployment, no manual architecture discovery, and you don't even have to learn our solution. It's so intuitive to use. So please, please, please check us out. You can reach out to us at info@hycu.com. And if you want to know more about us, please visit us at www.hycu.com.